All right. So it says I am on now. Can anyone see me? Is the question. Can you hear me? Be even a better question. Oh my goodness gracious. This has just been a nightmare for me today. It's funny because I thought I had this thing all set up and just one thing after the other, I guess. All right, let's see here. Let me get here. Make sure you can see me. Okay. It looks to be going on. I can see me. I don't know why that camera is on the edge there. I have never figured that out. But let's see. Where's my chat room for my questions? I am so mixed up today, let me tell you. Oh, let's find those questions here. Anyway, hi. And welcome. It's good to have everyone. I'm sure people are watching, and I just need to find out where the heck is the chat for the questions, because I am completely lost doing this today. I guess I'm not very technically, what's it called, apt at this. Let's see if this is it here. No, that's not it. All righty. Still working on some things. Let's see here. Hold up. Moving back. All right. Let's take that out. I don't know if this is even working. All right. Let's go here. Let's see if we can find it here. Computers always go slow. Maybe this will work. All right, they can hear me. You see me in full screen. Aha! Good, welcome. Let me go in and talk about a few things here. One, thank you. I got 1,100 subscribers now. Wow, 100 just after I finished doing the 1,000 celebration here. So that was really fun. So thank you for that. I'm really blessed by all the attention and support that I get from all of y'all. Other things from our last conversation. Let me see. Brian, I hear, has been looking into that billboard advertising and has been talking about, let's see, getting us pricing on that and what the cost is, and really doing a lot of the footwork. So thank you, Brian, for that. I appreciate that. Also, let's see what else. I had a few questions from the last time I did a Q&A, and I'm going to answer those real quick. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I will get to them. But the other one, someone asked me, he said, what would my lightsaber be and what would my fighting style be? I answered the fighting style question, but I forgot to ask, or answer, I should say, the lightsaber color. So my lightsaber color would be orange. Why? Because it's like EU. It's something different. Yeah, blue and green would be nice, but orange something different. And I don't know of many. I mean, there's a few in Tales of the Jedi who have orange, but I would probably go with orange. It's because it'd be like a flaming sword, you know? I think that would be so cool. Another question that I got was about Wikipedia. Someone said, hey, Matt, is it cheating if I look things up on Wikipedia instead of reading them? No, it's not cheating at all. I don't consider it cheating. Like I said, I constantly heart the Essential Reader's Companion. So for that reason, I mean, it's basically the same as Wikipedia. The only thing is, don't think that just reading Wikipedia is, you know, I think you're selling yourself short if you're just looking at Wikipedia, because reading the actual books and comic books are really good. And sometimes the summary doesn't look as good on paper. Like I told you, I have read the flaps of some of these books, and some of the flaps, when I read them at first, I went, this doesn't look very interesting. And it really was interesting. So I would say go ahead and read it and look at tons of reviews. I know I haven't reviewed everything, but other people have reviewed other books and hear what other people are saying. Go into the forums and see what they're saying, because there could be a a lot of good stuff out there and stuff that may fit you. And of course, check your era that you're looking in for as well. Like if you're interested in the Old Republic era, Clone Wars era, New Republic era, whatever. But I think there's good books all around the expanded universe, of course. All right, let's see. What are my thoughts on the Old Republic expansion, Knights of the Fallen Empire? Have I seen the trailers or gameplay footage? Thank you, Ryan. Yes, I have. I think it's amazing. I don't play Old Republic. I appreciate it. It's brought tons of people within the EU. So for that, I am thankful. But I wouldn't have the time. I don't give the time, I guess I should say, to dedicate to it. But I think it looks amazing. I think those guys are doing an awesome job. So I really do like it. Also, by the way, while I'm talking about this, I'll talk about it on my podcast, Prince of the Universe, on Monday. But look what someone gave me. This is Relic. He gave me a Stargate board game. This is really nice. I can't wait to play this. As you know, guys, I'm a big board game fanatic as well. So that was really nice. So thank you, Relic, if you're out there listening. Other things. Someone asked a question, what am I reading now? I always get that a lot. Say, what are you reading right now? Since there's no Star Wars EU. Well, I just recently, just as today, finished Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I'd read it before. Well, actually, my dad had read it to me a super long time ago. And I dropped it. And so I just finished it today, and I wanted to read it again. It's really, really good. And I just cut into the Lost World right before coming on to this live Q&A. But I really love this. This is like a little 2-in-1 novel by Barnes & Noble. I think my wife got it for her to read, and I just kind of stole it, and I've been reading it. So that's really neat. Let's see. Baloney wants to know, what do I like Courtship of Princess Leia? What is my favorite cover of that one? You know what? When the paperback came out, it fooled me because it's completely different. Usually you don't see different covers from a hardback to a paperback. So for that reason, it fooled me at first, because I thought it was a totally different story. And then realizing it was the same, Courtship of Princess Leia. I don't know. I like them both. I really do. I really like them both. I can't pick a favorite in between them. Let's see. If I had to pick a favorite cover of all the books, just asking a question of myself, that I would have to wait on and think about, because there are a lot of nice covers. I'm trying to think of what the nicest cover would be, and I don't know. I couldn't answer that question right now. I wasn't that, happy about the Fate of the Jedi covers, to be honest. I thought they were a little lazy, just the outlines and whatnot of people. But I've seen some good covers in the later books, and then some of the newer books. Some of the Old Republic covers look really super nice. So there's a lot of nice covers out there. Damask, what are the EU story you never read because of a rare publication? Lost City of Tatooine. Actually, I have Lost City of Tatooine now. I did read that. Right now, there is no EU story I have never read unless it was unpublished. And so the biggest unpublished novel that we know is out there is Escape from Dagu by William C. Ditz. And I would love to read that. In fact, I spoke to him, Bill. He's a really nice guy. He can't release it because he collected the full check for that. He got paid in full. Usually when authors haven't finished their book yet, they won't get paid in full. But this was paid in full, print, ready to go, and just didn't make it to print. It's still locked away in Del Rey's vault, and I would love to read it. Let's see. Question, any opinion on Star Wars Republic Commandos, and who's your favorite squad of the Republic Commandos? Is this Delta Squad with Boss Fixer, 7 Scorch? Yeah, I don't know. That's another hard question too, because one of the things about the Republic Commandos, or anything of the Clone Wars, is that the characters, each one of them were given these characters and these cool little nicknames. And even in some short stories, which I'll eventually get to, of course, as you know, we're getting up to the Clone Wars. It's coming up soon, and I'll start talking more about this. But there's a lot of little clones. Listen to me. A lot of Republic commandos that really do a good job giving them some character. And this is a big deal because they're clones and they're supposed to be faceless and nobodies. And there's a big difference between the old Clone War stories and the new Clone War stories. And I hope to talk about that in some of my upcoming reviews. All right. So Reader says he loves what I do. Thank you so much for the great videos. He's loving it. Oh, hey, man, I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate everyone who's been following along and enjoying it. Basically, I enjoy doing this. Like I said, I just love looking over these old stories again and talking about each one. And one of the biggest things that make me so happy is that when I hear people, like just recently I did the one on the special edition of Jedi Apprentice, and I heard people saying that they were just saying, thank you, man, I forgot about these, or, oh, I didn't even know they made a special edition. And in talking to a few people, they've said, oh, I didn't know that existed, or, wow, I don't have that comic book issue or whatnot. So I'm kind of happy I'm helping them find New EU, because I'll be honest, when I first found New EU that I never knew existed, I get excited too. So I know what that feeling is. So who knows? Maybe along the way, I'll help you find some more EU. Let's see. Ryan says, have you seen the video of George Lucas asking J.J. Abrams what happened to Darth Vader's grandchildren? No, Ryan. I'll have to check it out. Let's see. Another one. If you don't want to answer. Okay. Clear a few things on your Facebook brethren. Why do you avoid Facebook? Why do I avoid Facebook? Let me see. I'll be honest. If I got Facebook, I wouldn't check it. No, besides sounding too old and cranky about it, it's just something that I just would not check. I know that because in other things I've tried out, I don't check it. I don't check social media. I do like the aspect of hearing from people around the world that I haven't seen in a long time, or, you know, from all of you. That'd be really cool. But I don't think I'd be on it that much because I just do not get on social media. I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be too much to keep up with, because, yeah, I could just make friends with y'all and ignore the people here. Because another one of the things I see on Facebook, there's a lot of drama on Facebook. I don't really like to deal with drama. It's just a waste of my time, to be honest. And so then I see a bunch of friends getting in fights on Facebook, and they say, hey, did you hear what so-and-so said on Facebook? And everyone's checking their, phone, hold on, they're bringing out their phone, Princess of the Universe phone. They're going, I don't think it's a Princess of the Universe phone they're bringing out. But anyway, they're looking through it and going, what did so-and-so say about me? Oh, did you hear this? And then they're typing and they're looking into it. Not that there's something wrong about that, but then you got people like posting stuff on, let's see here. Okay, there it is. We even have Bruce who's texting me right now. You're live. Stop complaining and take your top off. Well, there's Bruce. Okay, nice that he's joining us. You know what? Bruce should come over here, shouldn't he? He's working tonight. I think he's working, but he should come. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, Facebook. Yeah, I just wouldn't spend that much time on it, to be honest. And I don't care what people are eating, and people take pictures of their food and talk about it, or talk about this and talk about that. And I know that's not all what Facebook's crafted to be, but it's just not for me right now. Right now, it's not. Let's see, other questions here. What do I think about Crystal Star in general? I'll get to that. I'll get to Crystal Star later on. My review on that may be a little bit surprising for some of you. And let me see. Do you put the Star Wars movies, cartoons, or video games on your shelf, or just the books and comics? Just the books and comics, and very few comics. A lot of my comics are singles, and they are in the boxes in the closet that I showed you on my tour, like behind the scenes. So I'm losing my train of thought now. Oh, anyway, I do have some trade paperbacks that I put up here. In fact, I've seen some of y'all's bookshelves that have all the trade paperbacks, and I love them. I think those trades look so much nicer than my individual issues. I mean, if I could, like during that Dark Horse fire sale where they were trying to get rid of all their omnibus copies, you can. I think Bruce and I even mentioned this on the podcast, but I was tempted to just buy everything all over again, because I really would love to have those omnibuses. Now I know some of them are way too expensive. I wouldn't get them. but those are great collections. I think they look great on bookshelves instead of my single issues. I'm happy for my single issues. I know some of you are trying to get single issues because you don't want to buy the omnibuses. That must cost an arm and a leg, right? But anyway, yeah, I have just books and comic books and a few other things on there, like magazine issues of short stories that took place in there. Let's see. Yeah, Ryan says a lot of drama popped recently up on Facebook too. Oh, really? Do you put the Star Wars movies cartoon? Oh, wait. Yeah, just answered that one. Nice phone cover. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, and by the way, it's nothing about nothing bad about anyone else on Facebook. In fact, I love what y'all doing on Facebook, and I know it kind of keeps me out of the loop not being on Facebook too, but there's a lot of immaturity on Facebook. I don't think I'd have the patience for it. My thoughts on Star Wars Comic Union. Like I said, again, some of this stuff I'm going to get to eventually. It was written by Stackpole, wasn't it? Zahn, I think, or it was written by, I don't have my book right there, but you know, so it was their idea. They've been working on it for a long time, but I'll talk about those later. Will I listen to soundtracks of Episode 7 by John Williams? That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be great because they're John Williams, so they got to be awesome, right? But will I listen to it? Let's see. Maybe. I don't know. I won't go out of my way to get it, but if it's playing in the background, maybe. Let's see. How did I get into the expanded universe? That was easy. If you remember, you may have not seen some of the older videos, but I talked about this where my dad's secretary was a huge Star Trek fan and was kind of converting me to Star Trek fan. But the one thing I hated about Star Trek is that the books were contradicting the TV show and the movies. And I hated that. And so she couldn't find me a Star Trek book for my birthday, and she decided to buy me Heir to the Empire just because she knew I liked Star Wars. And I was like, oh, wow, thanks. And I shelved it, and I didn't read it. But then I got bored over the summer. This is before the internet, kids. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna read it, just to see what it's like. Because I like the movies, but I don't want to read a book about it. Of course, I was blown away, and I've been hooked ever since. And what do I think about the new Force and Destiny expansion, Nexus of Power? It seems to incorporate new canon. Yes. A lot of the new stuff, they had made the switch in Force and Destiny on, what was it? The source book. They had made the official switch, the announcement saying, hey, this that we've been talking about is Legends. This is what we're going forward to. They kind of said goodbye right there. And I said goodbye to Force and Destiny. And Age of the Rebellion and Edge of the Empire. I'm not going to get any more because they've, you know, they gave us that. If you remember, I think I said this on one of my podcast things, but in Force and Destiny, they gave us a reason of why Filoni's Clone Wars could be considered non-canon because they said Compnor took those. Those are propaganda films that may or may not be true. So any conflictions with actual history events should be taken as a grain of salt because Compnor, you know, diluted these videos or the Clone Wars, because you know how the Clone Wars starts as a news stream. Well, they're saying that was by Compnor, and some of the story had changed. That was a nice little fix, and basically that was their goodbye to the expanded universe, and now they're switching over, which doesn't surprise me because originally their contract with Lucasfilm expired as of this year. Now they signed a new one, but that was back when George Lucas was in charge, when they signed the original contract, and it was supposed to be for the expanded universe. Well, now that universe is gone. They were still working in it, but now they're not anymore. They're moving on to a new one. That's fine, but I'm done buying those books, and I'm happy with the collection I have. I am super happy with it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. All right, now I'm getting behind in all these questions, so let's see if I can get back up to it. You may as well watch the movie and experience the tracks in their glory. I don't think I will, but thank you for the invitation. That's so nice. Which character from the movies do you like in the EU? Which character from the movies? I don't know. I've always been a big Lando fan. I mean, so I guess Lando. I mean, I like Luke. I like how Luke's story progressed actually in the series. I really like that a lot too. Oh yeah, literally 0 Star Trek books are canon. That's annoying. It is annoying, and this is the reason that I love Star Wars so much, because the books and the comic books and everything fit as one canon, and I love that. It was so unique, and now Star Wars siphon that off, and they have their own, and so it's different. It kind of lost a little bit of its luster. I'll be honest. Star Wars lost a lot of its luster when it started separating, because now they fell into the category of all other science fiction genres. But you're saying, well, Matt, well, now everything's kept in canon going forward. Yes, but it's not the same. For instance, Stargate, what I talked about. Of course, I love Stargate too. Stargate, the books don't mesh with the TV show. Some of the TV books do, but some of the other regular books do not. They follow the movie and move on somewhere else. So they have that split, that divide. And a lot of them have that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with Star Wars having the two split now. It's okay. But at the same time, Star Wars was the biggest franchise ever to have such a thing. So that's what made it super unique and super enjoyable for me. And honestly, that's the reason, if Star Trek's books had fit within the continuity of the Star Trek TV show and the movies, you may have seen in an alternate universe me being a huge Star Trek fan, because I probably would never have given Star Wars a second shot, and I would have gone straight to Star Trek if all the books and everything had been in continuity. So, wow, wouldn't have that been interesting? Let's see. If I ever go to Facebook, there's some great pro-EU pages. I would give a like. Definitely, I would. Let's see. Have you played, or do you collect any Fantasy Flight Star Wars board games, X-Wing or Armada? No, I don't. I'm actually looking forward to playing Armada soon. I have a buddy of mine who's going to show me how to play it. So I'm looking forward to it, because I hear good things about it. But I also hear it's a very expensive board game to buy with all those extra ship pieces and whatnot. You can spend a pretty penny. So hopefully it won't get too hooked. Well, I'll have to, because I'm someone who's a completist and I have to buy everything. In fact, we just we just recorded the Saturday Morning Sam Flange podcast for next week. And in it, they're looking at a bunch of, I have a big board game shelf here that I'll maybe show a little bit of it. Water. And some of my buddies were looking at it and say, wow, Matt, you're like a completist. You have like every, game and every expansion of that certain game. I said, yeah, once I get the one game, I want to see, I want to get all the expansions. So, all right, let's look at some other examples. I am so out of it today. I'll be honest, man, getting this live stream just kind of threw my whole game off. I came in here like a smooth operator, and now I'm totally messed up here. All right, so here's a new canon. It only exists in the new canon. New planets, Lothal and Jakku probably exist in the EU as well. I've just never seen them. Yeah, talking about the new planets that exist, I don't know. Those don't sound familiar to me in the old EU. They could have existed, but I don't know. But anyway, they definitely told everyone they were making the switch. And so I am totally fine with that, that they made the switch. I mean, I hate it because it's one last trickle of old EU that we don't have anymore. But I understand. All right. Hi, Matt. What do you think about Ewoks cartoon series? Do you like it? What season was your favorite? There are only 2 seasons. I don't know. Maybe season 2, but I really like the intro to season 1. And you know what? I will be reviewing those cartoon Ewok cartoon shows, probably on my run through the expanded universe. And I'll probably do it as just one whole set. But I'm looking forward to that, because those Ewok cartoons, they are fun. Now, they are kiddie, but they are fun. All right, so let's see here. Is there anyone who can beat Sidious minus Luke Skywalker in the EU? Wow. Is there anyone who can beat Sidious? I don't know. I want to say Darth Caedus would have given him quite a run, but I don't think he would have beat Sidious. We're talking about Sidious in his prime. That's a great question. I don't know. Of course, Yoda came up short. So if there's not Yoda, and I don't think Anakin in Episode 3 or Darth Vader could have taken on Sidious as prime too. So besides Luke Skywalker, no, I don't think so. I can't think of anyone. Okay. Mod 6 is on here. Hey, man. Yeah, good to have you. Any opinion on Star Wars The Force Unleashed? Yeah, I like The Force Unleashed. I like Star Wars Force Unleashed. I think it's good. I played the game like a little bit. My buddy gave it to me to play for like a week, and I didn't get far, but it is a fun game. I know why people like it. People like Abeloth. Well, Abeloth was a Abeloth is like a personification of the dark side. Would she count? I don't know. It's interesting. The Celestials. Yes, maybe. We don't even know much about them though. So maybe they're peaceful and they would just let them slay them like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Whatever. Let's see. Any opinion on the StarCraft games and books? Because in my opinion, I love StarCraft Expanded Universe. Oh no, you know what, Tevye? I've never read those. So StarCraft, that's interesting. Is my Clone Wars show going to be in your EU time video? Well, I've already reviewed the baloney Clone Wars stuff, so I will not address it. I will talk about comic books and books, children's books surrounding that cartoon show, but I'm done. I've already addressed it and I've moved on. Denny Tartarsky's Star Wars I will address in future episodes, though. We'll talk about that one. Any opinion on Darth Revan and his story? Love Darth Revan. You can look back at some of the past reviews I've done on his book. I thought it was really good. I know a lot of people didn't like it because they didn't feel that was Revan, but I actually loved it. So a suggestion, I should play through the Knights of the Old Republic and upload it, even though I'm not a big gamer, still make it exciting. You know what? I actually played it. Someone gave it to me, and the problem was with me, I came in too late to the game. The graphics weren't as good. I know back then they were great, but then for me, it just took a while. And then plus I was already out of video games. I'm just not interested in video games as much. So I appreciate it. I think it's got a fantastic story. I know it has a fantastic story. I know it has a huge impact within the EU. There's no question in my mind that Knights of the Old Republic was a big, big, big benefactor of the expanded universe. Like, so many people got interested in the expanded universe because of that game. But I just couldn't make it past. I mean, I couldn't make it past the introductory level, I think. I mean, I am like my dad now. My dad growing up couldn't beat the first level of Mario on Nintendo. I remember sitting back laughing at him. I said, look at that old man. Can't figure out Mario. Now I'm the old man that can't figure out how to get off the blasted ship in Old Republic. All right, so let's see. Trying to get back on this. Where's my scroll down button? All right, let's see. Where would I rank Legacy by Ostrander and just Ostrander is probably my favorite. Yeah, Ostrander, obviously, Dan, is the best. He's a fantastic author. If you haven't heard me talk enough about this guy, I know in my videos I keep talking about how great the story is, and yes, it's because of Ostrander. In fact, it's almost guaranteed that every time his name is on something, it's been fantastic. I love him as a writer, and actually, he is in the book series about the expanded universe coming out next year, the one that I contributed to. In the second book about comic books, John Ostrander is in that. He's actually writing something for that. So I'll be very interested to hear what he has to say about those old Dark Horse comics. Isn't Clone Wars still part of the EU? It is, technically. It shares the same continuity as the movies. So that is correct. The 2008 show. Oh, the old Clone Wars. Yes. Yes, it is, too. Even though it contradicts the Clone Wars comics. Oh, you know what? We're going to talk about that. Is there a conflict? I know what you're thinking. I know the one. But I actually have the answer for that. And it was given by Leland Chee. Let's see. Opinion. Karen Travis is saying Nazis think to justify the use of clone army by the Jedi. I guess. Karen Travis is, I can't wait to get some of her books. I want to talk about her as an author because she says some pretty wild things. And she really is good with the fans, or she grills some of her haters. If fans turn on her like critics, she is not like them, and she is very rude to them. So she is an interesting person. I actually got to talk to her too, and I kind of got a little bit of sense like, are you with me or against me? Because I'm going to treat you two different ways. Okay, you like my books. Okay, I'm going to talk. But if you're a critic, then I'm going to hate you. That's my opinion of her. I don't know if anyone else has interacted with her before, but she is an interesting character. Oh, you said you meant Dan meant that John Ostrander is probably his favorite Star Wars writer. Yeah, yeah. Well, I like Tom Veitch too. I like Anderson because I think Tales of the Jedi is fantastic. But Ostrander, that's interesting. Top 5 writers of comic books. I need to think about that. Ryder Wenham would definitely be up there. Veitch, Ostrander, Anderson. I have to think about that. But Ostrander would definitely be up there. Have I played Empire at War? No, I have not. Like I said, video games, not my strong point, unfortunately. Any opinion on Star Wars Rogue Squadron video game and stories and competitors? Okay, let me talk about Rogue Squadron, Tevya. Actually, you nailed it. Rogue Squadron was my favorite video game. I loved X-Wing Rogue Squadron. That was one of the last few I played. I did not like the second one at all, but I loved the first one. I loved it. And I played it all the time. I would definitely play that again. I think I still have it on my N64. But it was fantastic. I love the storyline of it. Everything about it. The second one, the reason I didn't like the second one is the controls were a little bit hard to figure out. For me, they were. And then one, I was lost for an entire level. But you know the wingmen you have who help you shoot some of the TIE fighters? They ended up shooting all the TIE fighters for me, and I won the level without doing anything. I was just flying around trying to find people. It annoyed me. And for that, I did not like the game. I was totally turned off on it. And I went to something else. You know, I went to other video games. But the original Rogue Squadron, I loved. Let's see, Damas, before Disney come, do you think the EU at one point should be definitely finished? Yes, I definitely think it should be finished. I think Disney should continue it in book form or ebook form, however they want. But I think they should do that for all the fans. And that's the thing. That's why I said we got to keep growing. We got to keep being out there and talking about the expanded universe and getting more people interested. Like I said, more and more people every day. I reached out to someone, 1 week, 2 weeks ago. He'd never heard of the movement. He had never heard of me. Not that I'm very popular, but he'd never heard of the movement or anything. He's like, I'm interested in this. And now he's like, whoa, dude, I didn't know this stuff existed. Thanks for hooking me up with this. I'm finding these people. There are tons of people who love the EU but have never heard of the movement. So that's why I'm saying go out there, search Facebook, search YouTube, search other websites and whatnot. For anyone who does reviews, say, hey, you like it? You should join us. We're trying to get them to continue this story. You know, and whether you like Disney or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because as long as we get the EU back, that's the one thing that matters. And I really hope, sincerely hope they finish the story. But there's tons of stories to tell. I hope they continue telling stories. I don't hope they just finish it. I hope they finish all these stories. Remember my Halloween special where I gave you what I wanted to see. And a lot of you gave great suggestions on other stuff we should see. And I agree on all of that. So anyway, all right, next question here. What do I think about deaths of movie characters like Chewie, Crix Madine, and whatnot? I like deaths and Veers. I like deaths in comic books and in movies from the characters from the movies who die in the series because you don't expect that to happen. So I am actually a big fan of that. I wouldn't mind if we went 1,000 years into the future past legacy. I wouldn't mind that either. I wouldn't mind if the new canon went there, meaning Disney canon went there, then everyone would be happy. But I'm going to drop that topic because I've said it a billion times. Let's see. What do I think of Timpedia EU videos? I don't think I've seen those. Sorry, I'm unfamiliar with it. What do you think of Revelation by Karen Traviss? I personally considered it the worst book in the Legacy of the Force series. Random Mandalorian, never be back. Karen Traviss, I'll give you this. Karen Traviss is probably the weak spot of all those authors. But you look at who they had there. I mean, you know, you put in Troy Denning and Aaron Alston. I mean, she's, in my opinion, she's going to be the weakest link in that. So, yeah, I mean, the overall story was fine. But, you know, yeah, Karen Traviss is probably the weaker author of them all. Star Wars Rogue Squadron now being... Any opinion on Star Wars Rogue Squadron now being non-canon? Because in my opinion, I love the games. It hurts me so much they are not. I mean, I hate that too. I hate that a lot of the books. I mean, a lot of the authors work very, very hard and work together with Lucasfilm to keep it in one continuity. We hear that a million times. In fact, Troy, you shared me a quote in a Topps Star Wars Collectors magazine, which has one of the guys from Lucasfilm saying that everything we do fits in one continuity. No matter how small, it all fits in one continuity. It was a great quote. And I can't remember, Troy, if you see this video, please put that quote in the, or Dylan, put the quote in the comments here so everyone can see that one. I don't have it pulled up. I'm sorry, because I didn't think I was going to be talking about it. But it's a fantastic quote. And it's once again shows us how much time and effort went into keeping this stuff canon. In fact, on StarWarsTimeline.net, Joe Bongiorno gives an interview with Ryder Wenham when he was writing the Han Solo Adventures, the little kitty books. And in it, he posts that, you know, Adventures in Hyperspace, it was. And at the end of it is a long list of stuff that Ryder's saying has to fit within canon. Like little bits and stuff. He said, well, I had to do this because it was in Dark Empire, and I had to do this for this. And you see how much painstaking detail was given by these authors to keep everything in one consistent canon. And it's almost like someone came over and tipped over the whole sandcastle and made them start over. All the authors have excellent attitudes. And so, okay, you know, they understand what I understand too. Disney owns the company. They can do whatever they want. They are free. They have every right to do that. You know, Disney, how could you? Well, they have 4 billion reasons of why they can. Anyway, so yeah, I hate that it's not canon, but oh well. All right, Dan, obviously an Invincible. Denning went to the other extreme with Cage wiped out a lot of Mandalorians since Travis made him look bad in Week in Revelation. I'll talk about that when I get to the series, but Denning's a fantastic author. I will say that. Let's see. Reddit is talking about me for knowing so much about the EU. Well, I appreciate that from Reddit. Actually, my wife saw me trending on Facebook. It came up on one of her news feeds. I can't remember what it was for. She went, and she sent me a screenshot. She went, "You are trending on Facebook." I said, "Yeah." I'm a big nerd like that. What didn't you like in Christy Golden's books? Well, let me talk about that when I get to one of her books. I gotta think about it too, but there's a few things I didn't like about Christy Golden. I mean, she's not terrible, by the way. I don't think she's terrible, but definitely not as strong, maybe. Any new thoughts on the Billboard project? Yeah. Actually, Brian, like I said, whoever that guy is, I don't want to give out his last name because I don't know if I should. But Brian knows who he is. Has been really working hard. I've gotten a lot of information on it. He and Dylan have been working really hard on this, and probably other people who I probably haven't mentioned. If I haven't mentioned your name, I'm sorry. I just haven't heard of you. But if you are helping out, great. I appreciate that. Let's do it. I think the lady said it would have to be done after the Super Bowl because all the billboards are packed for the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl is going to be in San Francisco this year. So, and that makes sense. But that's even better because that's after the movie's over. Then they can hear our message that we are still around. And by the way, folks, looking at the numbers, it is easy. In my calculations, if each one of my subscribers pledged $5, that billboard's going up. $5. You pay $5 and you can say that billboard in San Francisco, asking for Legends back, that was me who did that with my $5. If you gave $10, it can stay up there for 2 months. All right. I'm definitely going to give way more than 10 myself, but I wouldn't want anyone to stretch their budget because I know a lot of us are kind of stretching our budget. We're hurting. But at least if you could give 5, if you could get your friends to do 5 or pledge to it or something, I want this to be a huge success and keep that billboard up for as long as we can. Because I guarantee, I really feel that is going to make a statement. I really feel that way. All right. How do you think Luke died in the EU canon? I don't know. I'm guessing he would have gone out in a ball of flame. But if he would have died peacefully like Yoda, I guess I would have been fine with that as well. Because if you think about it, and they set this up, and I think it was Fate of the Jedi. Yeah, it was Fate of the Jedi. That the Jedi Order would be lost without Luke. And we that's obvious to see in that series. What happens if they would have killed him off? It would have given great storyline within the Jedi Order to kind of work out their differences and move together as one. Would Ben take up the mantle and lead? I don't know. Would he be strong enough to lead? it's interesting. I would like that would be an interesting story. Many, many interesting stories to talk about within the old expanded universe. That's for sure. All right. Any opinion on Star Wars expanded universe now being like both Marvel continuity and DC Comics continuity? I mean, eventually everything's going to reset, Tevya. I mean, everything is going to reset. Like I was saying, after 15 years, I bet the movies reset. So, all right, let's see. What? Oh, I'm losing my place on all this. Wow, y'all are really piling in on the questions here. Matt, are you going to watch any of the new movies? Negative, I'm not. Even the spinoff ones? No. What if they were really good and directly taken from the EU? Especially not. I'm not going to do that. If they butcher, that's why I don't want Timothy Zahn in Rebels. If Timothy Zahn was, I mean, if Zahn was in Rebels, it would not be the Zahn that we know and love. It wouldn't be the Thrawn that took the New Republic to its knees 5 years after Jedi. It would be just a copycat Thrawn, and it would be awful. Gag. No, I would not want that. Who would I consider to be the most underrated EU character? His is AJ-37 from Legacy Volume 2. He was so awesome. Oh, you know what? That's interesting. You don't think about AJ-37 that much, but most underrated character. Who would it be? That's a great question. Streen. No, it'd be Streen. I know off the top of my head. Streen was underused in the Jedi Academy series. He's the hermit with the Force. He's very quiet. I would love to see more of his story. That would be my pick. Opinion on Children of the Jedi? I'm going to give that later on. Barbara Hamley's a fine author, though. But canon is just politics, and authority decided what canon is. Doesn't mean it's a true story. Well, canon is decided by the owners, always. So Disney says, this is our new canon, and that's fine. Lucasfilm said the EU was canon 1 billion times, and that was fine, too. So I can't say, oh, well, Disney's not really canon. That's fake canon. Well, I mean, yeah, to me it is, but they own it. They get to decide what canon is. Just like Lucasfilm owned it, and they said this was canon. So now Disney owns it. They get to say what's canon. Set Fire to the Sky. Hello. He says, thanks for the congratulations on 1,000 subs. Thank you, sir. Opinion on Zahn hating Dark Empire. I've never heard that. I did not know that he hated Dark Empire. I wonder why. Vetch is a fantastic author, and that story was actually really well done. It came out the same time as his books. That's kind of wild. Nominar, I've never heard that. By the way, Nominar, love your name. Let's see. Wow, I'm so far behind in these. HK47, Tevya says one of his most underrated characters. Is he underrated, though? HK47, really? I don't think so. I think he takes center stage in that game. Troy Denning has written some great books. Yes, he has. I love Troy. Yeah, that's the one author I want to meet, actually. Have I watched Dark Matter on Netflix? No, I haven't. And you know what? If you would, if you recommend it, oh, well, maybe I'll have to try it. Dark Matter, huh? Check it out. All right. All right. Sorry, I'm just getting lost in the questions here. All right. Oh, where do we pledge? That's going to be on Kickstarter, but it won't be for a while. We're still working out the details with the billboard company. And once we get that set up, I want to go ahead and start looking into when we can start that Kickstarter, because hopefully I want it to start by the end of the year. That's just me. May start January 1st, and I'm fine with that too. But I would like to start it sooner than later, so we'll have the money available. But for $5 or $10, that's well worth anyone's time. One of my thoughts on one of the actresses from The Force Awakens saying she's going to play the first female villain in Star Wars. I'd say read a book to her. You don't want Luke to die. Well, don't worry, he's not dead, at least in the Disney canon yet. But he may die at the end of the trilogy. That's what people are saying. That's rumors. I don't know. Han is going to die. I called that over a year ago. Have I read science fiction books like Eisenhower? Let's see. Sorry, reading through these. One. Someone saying in the interview he didn't want to have Dark Empire happen in his books. So Zahn didn't want Dark Empire to happen in his books. And had to confirm that happened in the story. I never heard him say he hated it. Well, I think did Dark Empire come out before Timothy Zahn's books? I want to say they came out at the same time, around the same time. I have to check on the time limit on that. But maybe he didn't want to work with Dark Horse and tie in their story, which is fine because it takes place slightly after the book. So whatever he did wouldn't really affect. I mean, maybe he said, I wouldn't want to tie it in and lead it up to Dark Empire. That's fine. Make his own story. Remember, Zahn was always about having his own little sandbox of characters. In fact, he didn't want to, I'm sure he may have been offered the chance to write New Jet Order, but he didn't want to, not that he doesn't like working with other people. He just likes writing his own story and living with his own characters and whatnot. If you notice, he always stayed around the same group of characters. He never jumped to different, characters or made up new characters. He just kept the characters from Heir to the Empire and then talked about Mara Jade and the Outbound Flight Project, which I'll review briefly, or coming up, excuse me. Let's see what else. Yeah, if you win the $10,000 a week for life contest, you're playing $5,000. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. If I won it, we'd be publishing some free books on the Star Wars Expanded Universe. That's what we'd be doing with it. Did you hear that the new Stephen King It reboot seems to have has gotten canceled? Bummer. Oh, really? I didn't hear that. That's sad. I hate that. I know that something else was getting a reboot. I can't remember what it was. I'm happy with Ash versus the Evil Dead. I'm going to talk about that on Prince of the Universe. Also going to talk about, I'm sure X-Files is ready to go in January. That'll be a lot of fun. I've actually read some of the X-Files books, and those are actually pretty decent. Haven't read them all, but read a few. Someone asked me about Halo books, and I've read maybe 2 or 3 Halo books. I haven't read any of the new stuff either. It's just mainly the older stuff, but I enjoyed those as well. But I don't get into as much as the books into a franchise as Star Wars. I don't think there's any other book franchise that I kept. I mean, for a while, Forgotten Realms. I used to buy everything Forgotten Realms by Ari Salvatore, and I stopped at the Thousand Swords trilogy for no particular reason. It's just that it was bubblegum fantasy for me, meaning if you're going to put mummies and vampires and zombies and everything like that in your fantasy, that's just a little too much for me. Stick with one fantasy genre. But I mean, for what it was worth, they were fun to read. But anyway, so that's some of the other stuff I've read. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Anyway, I'll go. Y'all are commenting on stuff here. What do I think of Razor's Edge? We'll talk about Razor's Edge. That was one of the newer books that came out right before the buyout. It came out after the buyout, I think. It was just one of the continuations of the old EU. And we'll talk about that one. Like I said, I'm not going to give too much opinion on these because first off, I want to look back over it and make sure I got my notes right. Someone asked how I prep these, and I can't show you, but I have a ton of notes they're just over on the other table of stuff I make. Notes on books and stuff, because I'll go back, I'll read through some of the summaries. I can flip through some chapters and read a few just to make sure I remember it well. And I'll look over it, practice what I have to say. I'll talk to myself in this room for maybe 30 minutes trying to get down what I want to say. Of course, as you see, I edit stuff out because I get very repetitive at times. This is me live, so you can tell how awful it would be if I hate that I can't cut this footage. It's going to go all be posted on YouTube in one big thing, because sometimes the words escape me, characters' names escape me, or I'll be saying the wrong author. I go, wait a minute, what am I doing? I have to go back and circle back. So it's kind of funny. Did I ever watch Heroes, and do I like it? Yes, I do love Heroes. I'm watching Heroes Reborn right now, and I'm glad they brought it back. I hear the ratings are really low, and it's probably going to get canceled. That's sad. I think it's a good story, but at the same time, Heroes did it to themselves. In fact, the story for Heroes Reborn is kind of, it started off really good and really interesting, but they're doing what they did again and just basically just resetting the same story, just resetting the story. Not to ruin anything, but they go back in time travel and basically reset the whole story again. So you're like, is this going to be worth watching all over again? You know, they're going to make different mistakes this time, or everyone's different. Characters that died off earlier are now back because they changed the timeline. Ooh. So I don't know. But I do like Heroes. I liked it when it first came out. I thought it was good. Do you think after Rogue One, there would be most ideal time to get more EU books? That's in the summer. Actually, I think the time to get more EU books is after episode 7, because like they said, they were focusing on episode 7. Now, if they keep saying, oh, we're focusing on Rogue One. Oh, we're focusing on the next spinoff movie. Oh, we're focusing on episode 8. Well, what do you see there? They're just stringing us along. They're never going to bring it back. So that's when I know that they're not going to be serious. In fact, next year is going to be very telling to see if they're going to be very serious or not. Now, like I said, Dave Wolverton thinks that they would, because he said there's a lot of people who really love the expanded universe. They're really happy that people want it back. They're unhappy about some of the way people are acting, which is why I said, you know, we need to behave politely and be respectful. But if we're all respectful and the voice is growing, like I said, something like a billboard, boom, they would never expect to see that coming. And when they see it, they're like, wow, these fans really do care. And I think that would give some ammo to people who are on the board who also want to see more expanded universe. And I think it would be very beneficial, and I think it can be done. Honestly, I'm not just saying that to just rally the troops. I really think it could be done. Let me see. Man, is your friend Tristan from my accent single? I would be interested. Oh yeah, Tristan's single. You should definitely look him up. He's a killer man. Let's see. What do I think about Leia's slave controversy? I'm gonna talk more about that on Prince of the Universe. But no, I think that's really, really dumb. I think we're getting too PC on that. Do I think Numenor really died at the end of New Jedi Order? It's questionable. I think he did. I know you would have liked to seen him survive. It's questionable. I think he did, but if he was still alive, that would be kind of cool. Because, you know, Numenor, anyone can, you know, escape and sneak away. It'd be him. He's the snake. So, I don't know. He could have. If Empire survives with Palpatine as Emperor after Endor, can they defeat the Vong with the Death Star and other military forces? You know what? That was actually questioned in one of the, I think it was a Wizard of the Coast RPG, was that the Empire, no, it was questioned in the New Jedi Order series if this is what the Emperor was building all these big machines for. Not only to, you know, rule the galaxy with an iron fist, but did he know about the outside threat by the Vong? I think he did, and I think he was going to have that. And yes, I think the Death Star would have wiped him out immediately. I mean, because if you remember in that story, they take Centerpoint Station and wipe out a total armada of them, and the Vong were not expecting that. So if they used all the super weapons that the Emperor had, then yes, I think that war would have been over in that 5 minutes. Once they entered the galaxy and their first armada got wiped out, they'd turn back around and go, whoops, sorry, infidels, you can keep your machines. I don't think they would have come back. So that's an interesting concept, though, because think about what I just said. If the Emperor would have lived, he would have ended up saving trillions of lives. That's kind of interesting. I never thought about it that way. Warcraft movie. You know what? Again, yeah, John. Hi, John Hanson. The Warcraft movie. I haven't heard anything about it. I guess I need to check it out. I'm not a fan of Warcraft, but I don't hate Warcraft either. I'm just unfamiliar with Warcraft. But it's got to be good if it has such a huge following. Do I cosplay by any chance? If you don't, which character would I cosplay as? I don't cosplay only because I see so many people who do it right. And it would be insulting if I didn't do it right. To be honest, I almost there is a John Stepp who is on my Saturday Morning Samoflange podcast. He's been a guest star a few times, and he's almost been kind of a regular lately. His wife does amazing cosplay, amazing. And for a while, I was thinking about working with her to get a C-3PO costume with like light up eyeballs and everything. I think that would have been awesome. But didn't work out. But if I was to cosplay as any EU character, I don't know. I mean, it'd be cheap to say probably a Vong. I mean, that would be the most ambitious one I could think about, right? I mean, I don't think no Bullocks from the original Han Solo trilogy. You know, I think that'd be really cool. Have a little blue Max in my chest cavity. Anyone who reads Brian Daly, you may get that. That'd be fun. Do I really think Disney is really serious when they say they might bring him back? Yes, I do. I'm going to believe them because Dave Wolverton said that there are good people on the story group who want to see it happen. That's what Dave Wolverton says, and I trust him. Now, will they do anything about it? That's the ultimate question. Well, I guess we'll just find out next year. Ask me next year, Mod 6. I may have a different answer for that. Is the Sun Crusher a part of the super weapons? Yes, it would be. Sun Crusher definitely would have been. It would have been just undefeatable. Let's see. How do you think Anya Solo was related to Han? It was never explained. You know what? I don't know. That's a good question. How would she be related to Han? I know we were going to get the answer for that, but maybe Alana gets married. For some reason, she keeps her Solo name, and the baby keeps the Solo name. Like, how does the Solo bloodline continue without Jason or Anakin, right? The Solo last name, giving that they would take on the married name. So I'm guessing Alana had a baby, and that baby took the Solo name for whatever reason. So I'm guessing that's how we still have Solos. That's a great question. I really wish Legacy would have finished and answered that because I was really interested in that storyline. Is Yubnub ever going to get a Teak buddy to hang out with? I love that. You know what? Yubnub would love to have Teak. By the way, I love Teak. I'm going to review both of those movies in my expanded universe reviews, and I love Ewok movies. Obviously, I watched them a billion times as a kid. So a Teak, I would love it. Where is a stuffed Teak? Are they out there? Maybe I need to look for one. Let's see. Could we get a story where Gare comes to Sidious Apprentice that fits between Maul and Dooku? That would be interesting. Yeah, maybe. That's the thing. There are countless stories out there from the expanded universe that I would love to see completed or explored. Countless errors I would love to get explored too. So that'd be a great storyline for a book or a comic even. Did you hear Star Wars and Dying from Cancer is going to see it early? What are your thoughts? Thought that was pretty awesome of them. That was pretty awesome of them to do it. So yeah, I mean, I hope the movie's not bad enough that it kills him right there, but I'm kidding. No, that was really super nice of them to do that. I think someone correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not do that for episode 1? Wasn't there a kid who had leukemia or something? I don't know. I mean, I could be just making this up, but I want to say that they did that for episode 1 too for a kid. This is a long time ago, so I could be getting it confused, but it's really nice that they did that. Yes, a real life version of Fanboys. What would be funny, Dan, is at the end he turns his buddies right before it starts and goes, "Hey guys, what if it sucks?" Let's see. Elizabeth, could Luke Skywalker be a gray Jedi? No, he's gone against that. I know they're swinging toward that after New Jedi Order, but they definitely steered clear from that in the Legacy of the Force, and he's not a gray Jedi. How are you going to spend your Force Awakens premiere night? I'm going to order pizza and watch Netflix. You know what? How am I going to spend Force Awakens? That may be a video that night. I don't know. Maybe the next day. But there may be a Force Awakens video. I'm thinking about a Force Awakens premiere. That would be funny. But I don't know. I have to think about it. The 7th Battle of Ruusan, where casualties were probably reduced an army of light spears, swords, the final battle. Yeah, Ruusan, yeah. Remember, they had that. There's a comic book about the Battle of Ruusan. And I think that's what you're talking about, the Army of Light and everything, their final battle. So that was in there. Someone else asked, they kind of wonder if as we're getting closer, have I seen the new trailer? No, I haven't seen the new episode trailer. Am I still not tempted to go see it? No, I'm still not. Remember, the expanded universe is what made me a Star Wars fan, not really the movies. I love the movies. I loved them as a kid, loved everything about it. But just like everyone else in the late 80s, early 90s, I was done with Star Wars. I was moving on to other things. And the books was what got me back in and made me a firm lover of Star Wars. With those kind of out of the picture now, anything that doesn't revolve around Star Wars that I love is not as interesting to me. It's just not. Is Bruce going to the midnight premiere? Hey, Relic. Bruce probably is because he's a little traitor. I'm kidding. Yeah, he probably is going. I can't imagine him not going, unless he has work. Then he won't go. But he's definitely going. He's probably going the next morning too with his kids. I don't know. He's getting old. He may not go to that midnight premiere, especially if he doesn't have anyone to go with. I won't go with him. Well, it's Force Awakens. He may have a few other friends. It's funny. This will be the first time Bruce and I have. That's a lie. We've missed a premiere before. We usually go see when they came out, re-released in 1997. Bruce and I saw all three of them together in movie theaters. And we saw episode 2 together on premiere night. I don't think we saw episode 1 together on premiere night, and I know we didn't see episode 3 together on premiere night. So it's not really like it was a tradition, but we did talk to each other. Let's see. Aya Sakura, Darth Talon, who would I choose? Sakura, but that would be a great match to see. But I would pick Sakura over Talon. But that's a great matchup. I love that matchup. Why is Luke so much like Grey Jedi and not like a Jedi? I disagree with that. I don't think there's anything about him being a Grey Jedi. I think he's very much cemented in the light. If you don't know that, you need to read. Well, New Jedi Order basically solidifies it. I mean, he talks about it, but it basically solidifies it. And then going forward in all the other books, he is definitely in the light side of the Force. Dan says he is going to see it, hoping it's great. Luke most likely is not having children or being married, so ridiculous times. Yeah, Dan, I hope you enjoy it for movie purposes, but please don't go to this movie thinking about is this going to fit within the EU and being mad when it doesn't. I don't think you are, Dan, but I'm just saying other people who go, don't sit there and just criticize the whole thing, because then you're just going to ruin the experience for you. Now, you may go ahead saying, oh, it's awful and here's why, and that's fine. But don't go in there with the intention, I'm going to tear this movie apart. I don't think that's how anyone should see that movie. If you're going to see it. If you don't want to see it, then don't go see it. Sit around with me. Maybe we'll do another live Q&A during the premiere. Wouldn't that be funny? Let's see. Do I have a favorite culture from the Star Wars Expanded Universe? His would be the Vong, because the Vong are great culture. They're a very scary culture. Do I have another culture that I like? The Vong are very interesting. I mean, you're touching on a great soft spot for me, because I love the New Jedi Order. So now I'm trying to think of someone besides the Vong. The Rakatan, actually. I'd like to see that from Dawn of the Jedi. I'd love to see more about their culture. They had a very interesting view. And like I said, I wanted to hear what happened to them too, but that would probably be one to be interesting. Let's see. Am I ever going to talk about Twilight Zone on POTU, Prince of the Universe? And then Relic said, did we record Prince of the Universe today? No, we didn't. Bruce is working. We're going to do that one tomorrow, and I'm hopefully going to have it edited in time for Monday. Let's see. We'll talk about I want to say we did talk about Twilight Zone. We haven't? That's weird. No, we talked about it on Saturday Morning Santa Flange. I remember now. I like Twilight Zone. I think it's great. The older ones are really good. The movie that was in the 80s was okay. Yeah, Twilight Zone I like. I like it. Well, maybe Bruce and I can talk about it. We'll see. Let's see. Do I think Luke was a better leader than Yoda? No. I think Luke is better. The only reason that I think Luke is better is because he has built them up into this big, right now in the last part of the story, there's thousands of Jedi, and it seems like every single one of them listened to Luke and they'd be lost without him. With Yoda and the council, they got too caught up. There wasn't enough dark side around for them to lead properly. I think you need to have that balance, like they said in the Force. And so Luke is in the perfect situation to lead with that balance. So in my opinion, I think Luke would be the better one. There's nothing against Yoda at all, because I think Yoda is a very wise one. Anyway, all right. So I think I have been streaming for a very long time. I'm about to wrap this one up. But let me just say, thank you so much for, get that in there. Nope. I don't know why my computer keeps acting up. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate all your questions. This was fun. Thanks again for the 1,000 subscribers. I mean, now 1,100. So thank you so much for that and for your support. And I really have fun doing this. Would we do one again? Maybe. I mean, maybe in the future if I don't screw it up. Oh, by the way, I'm looking into getting a webcam so we won't have that blurriness. Look like a, what is a PlayStation, early PlayStation video game, right? When they did the little video footage of them and look kind of grainy. All right, folks, that's it for now. I will see y'all next week with another video.